everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to our virtual picture book party. My name is Melissa and I'll be your host today. For this program, we have 5 different presenters from our library district, and they're each going to talk about 5 books. They each have about a minute to share what they love about each title, and you'll see a couple of slides for each book. The list of all of the books will be available on our website, and we'll put a link in the comment section. If you have questions or comments about the books, please feel free to put them in the chat and somebody will respond to you as soon as we can. This month, our theme is our favorite titles of the last couple of years. We know not everyone has been in our branches as frequently as usual, so we've included titles you might have missed from 2020, as well as our picks from 2021. These books are our personal favorites, not necessarily the big award winners or the bestsellers of the year. I'm going to have all of our presenters introduce themselves, so please say your name and your position at the library. And I'm going to ask Michelle to get us started.
Hi everyone, I'm Michelle and I love to do story times and I've been doing them at Castlewood right now.
Hi everyone, I'm Lori and I'm a Storytime Specialist.
Hi everybody, I'm Michelle, also Michelle, and I am a library specialist at Southland Branch.
Hi everybody, I'm Madhavi and I'm a Storytime Specialist.
Hi, I'm Erin and I'm the Children and Family Library Services Lead.
And I'm Melissa and I am the Storytime Supervisor. All right, thanks everybody. Go ahead and make sure you're muted and until it's your time to share your first book, and we will go ahead and get started with Michelle.
Living in a cave, wearing animal skin clothing, and having a pet mammoth sounds like ancient history, and it is, except some things haven't changed. I can't sleep. The 3 dreaded words that parents have heard since the beginning of children. Brandon Reese has captured the emotions that may run through your home or cave at bedtime in Cave Dada. Talented illustrator and experienced dad, he takes us back to Neolithic days with big, strong illustrations done in colored pencil and original typeface that looks like chiseled Stone Age writing. It captured my heart. This nocturnal adventure starts with devoted Dada going out after a hard day of hunting and gathering to find Baba the perfect bedtime book, repeatedly. Recommended for new parents and published by Chronicle Books for ages 3 to 5, Reese now has a sequel about a picky eater. And I'm guessing maybe another one about potty training.
Henriette Home by Megan Maynor, told from the perspective of the younger brother left home when his sister goes to kindergarten. This is one of my favorites. Henry and Liza have always done everything together, including getting flu shots. They have their best place, their special twisty tree, just for themselves. Imagine how Henry feels when Liza gets a new school backpack and supplies to go with it. Henry touts all the things he can do in an effort to convince Liza he should go to school with her. He writes his name and uses scissors without help. As the older sibling, Liza tells him he is too young and must wait until next year. It's the rules, she says. Stomping on the new crayons, Henry calls Liza mean. Being left behind creates a feeling of abandonment for him. Going through his day, he creates activities where no kindergartner is allowed in order to get back at his sister. When Liza gets home, how do you think they will adjust? Will they get along or grow further apart? What about the twisty tree? Will it remain special? Read this story to find out. I like this one for ages 3 to 6. And if you like it, try When My Brother Gets Home by Tom Lichtenheld.
I lack a mouth, but I can speak. I lack hands, but can push out unwanted guests. I'm gentler than a feather, but I can cause harm. What am I? I am smoke. Although we keep this picture book in our nature and science section, it is so full of background information that it could be kept in nonfiction. Readers can learn all sorts of cool facts about smoke, like how it is formed, and the different ways that humans have used it throughout history to cook with and communicate. Although the book is filled with lots of awesome factoids, the most fascinating part of it for me was the way that illustrator Merce Lopez created all of those swirls and smudges. She started with a candle, then let her daughter color over the marks, and then finished the whole thing off with watercolors. The resulting book is ethereal, haunting, and beautiful. I would recommend it for ages 6 and up.
Forbinas Brothers, written by Rajni LaRocca and illustrated by Chaya Prabhat. This book is a math skill building picture book appropriate for ages 4 to 7. Published by Charles Bridge in 2021, this book touches upon the concept of patterns, colors, and counting and math through storytelling. Added to that, it also talks about a festival in India called Raksha Bandhan, where a sister tries a bracelet called Rakhi to her brother, and then the brother in turn gives her gifts. They promise to be there for each other always through all the ups and downs of life. So the story is Beena decided to make bracelets for or Rakhis this year for her three brothers, Vijay, Siddharth, and Arun. She does it very thoughtfully by taking into account their hobbies and interests and choosing their favorite colored beads while avoiding their not so favorite colors. Her pet dog Tara was her greatest help. There is a cultural note at the end of the book about the festival Raksha Bandhan and also math note about how to introduce patterns to kids using simple day-to-day activities. I love the sibling bonding depicted in this book, and the pictures are colorful, festive, and beautifully showcase the Indian clothes, food, and decor.
My Rainy Day Rocket Ship by Marquette Shepard and illustrated by Charlie Palmer. This fun book from 2020 was my go-to gift for families with preschoolers and early elementary age kids. On a rainy day, our young protagonist uses his imagination and gathers everyday objects from around the house to blast off into space. A rocking chair makes a perfect spaceship, a box of socks, a launching pad, goggles, and a bright yellow swim trunks, and you have a cool spacesuit. With a bit of help from mom and dad, the blast off to space is an incredible success, with a perfect landing into bed and the land of Z's. The fun rhythmic text and gorgeous illustrations are sure to delight everyone and hopefully give you a few ideas the next time everyone is stuck inside on a rainy or snowy day.
Where's Baby is interactive and fun. A Geisel Honor Book and Notable Children's Book Award recipient. I immediately wanted to read it again to look at all the delightful images of Papa and Baby Fox. Ann Hunter, author and illustrator, gives you a feeling of being surrounded by the quiet of nature with her finely sketched pen and pencil drawings. The text is entirely composed of dialogue in speech balloons, and even though this book is aimed at 2 to 4-year-olds, it could easily be a selection for early readers. Toddlers will enjoy running their fingers over the pages and finding Baby as Papa continues to look high and low in the woods near their den. Besides seeing how much fun Baby is having hiding, the story provides a subtle introduction to prepositions that will help get children ready to read. Next up for Hunter, again with Tundra Books, Baby Squeaks in 2022.
sorry. Leah Gilbert's The Perfect Plan is a beautifully illustrated and engaging story of a girl, Maya, who imagines having her own foot. She dreams about a cozy, comfy place to hide out, dream, and read. After researching, designing, and planning, Maya gathers her supplies and hikes to a place with just the right kind of foot-building trees. Sadly, her plan doesn't work. Maya is dejected when it's not the most incredible and wonderful foot in the world after all. Not ready to give up, she asks for help from the forest animals. When the beavers, moose, bears, and birds assist her, the foot is almost ready, but still missing something. Just then, the unexpected happens. Maya and the animals are distressed and must wait to see how the foot fares. How does Maya react? Will the foot be anything at all or just part of her imagination? This is a sweet story of persistence and asking for help and being flexible when plans don't work out. I love the message in this one and recommend it for ages 3 to 6.
Imagine that you are a vegetable, maybe a carrot or an ear of corn. One day, as you're just hanging out in your garden with all of your veggie friends, plop! A bright red round thing lands. What is it? After much discussion and many creative theories, everyone decides that this newcomer must be a tomato from outer space. A gopher, who also lives in the garden, is convinced that the alien tomato is nothing more than a red ball. The veggies ignore the gopher and throw a party and give the tomato a name, Allie, and a crown. Who is right? You'll have to read this book to find out. Author Kristen Schroeder was inspired to write Alien Tomato when her daughter blurted out the title one day, and that was reason enough to include it on my 2021 favorites list. Alien Tomato will captivate young readers with its silly illustration, and it has a wonderful surprise twist ending. Recommended for ages 3 and up.
Dear Librarian, written by Lydia M. Sigworth and illustrated by Romina Galota, with a foreword by Ira Glass. This book has been published by Farrar, Straus and Giroux and is praised towards ages 4 to 7. Actually, though, this book is for all the librarians too. The story is about a girl and her family affected by homelessness. They move to a new place and they live with friends and family till they find a source of income and a place they can call home. While they were finding their home, the library was a safe haven and a home where she found so much to do and explore, and she finds a regular routine that gave her normalcy and sense of belonging. It's a letter to a children's librarian, as it explains what libraries offer to their communities and the profound effect one person can have on another. True to the saying, it takes a community to raise the child. Dear Librarian is a hopeful reminder that the public libraries offer much more than just books and resources.
Outside You Notice by Erin Aladdin and illustrated by Andrea Bilnick. What do you notice when you are outside? The smells in the air after it rains, or the taste of a freshly picked strawberry? Each page in this book shows kids and families enjoying different outdoor areas like backyards, forests, and gardens. You can read the book straight through, but you can also have a wonderful time reading all the fun facts included on each page, which is sure to spark curiosity about the outdoors in kids and adults alike. And chances are you will stop to take time to notice different sights, sounds, and smells the next time you are enjoying the great outdoors.
Do you remember when you were a kid and 100 seemed like such a big number, especially if you could count to 100? Or in the case of this book, do 100 different things. Wow, where to begin? It doesn't matter in this charming picture book, illustrated and written by award winner Amy Schwartz. Diverse characters and activities will keep preschoolers busy for hours. or maybe minutes at a time, because when they read this book, they will want to stop and see if they can do all the things the kids are doing in this book, or make their own list of 100 things. Written in rhyme with a definite rhythm, it makes me want to chant out loud while I'm reading it. One of my favorite sequences: help cook, read a book, bounce a ball, stand tall. A wonderful self-esteem builder, all while enjoying the magic of childhood. This is Schwartz's third 100 Things books, published by Abrams.
Don't Feed the Coos by Jonathan Stutzman is a good book for ages 4 to 7. Do you know what happens if you feed pigeons, or coos as they are affectionately called in the story? Don't Feed the Coos is a funny story of a determined little girl who ignores advice. She feeds a coo, and guess what? That's right, you feed one and they all come. The girl tries hard to escape. The coos follow her everywhere. They invade her house, make her mom angry, and show up unwelcome to other places she goes. She tries everything to make them leave. Nothing works. Coos leave their droppings behind. Feeding them makes the droppings increase. Unfortunately, some of her things get ruined. You cannot hide from a coo. No matter what you do, your plans will fail. So maybe you should walk them in the park. Back at the park, the girl comes up with an idea to be rid of the coos. Will her plan work? Will anyone help her? Read this humorous story to find out.
I Sang You Down from the Stars starts with a mother-to-be singing a song to her unborn child. As she waits for the arrival of her new baby, she gathers gifts to create a sacred bundle: a white feather, cedar, and sage, a stone from the river. Each addition to her bundle will offer the baby strength and connection to tradition, family, and community. As they grow together, mother and baby will have gifts to give to each other. This book is a gorgeous Own Voices ode to motherhood. Author Tasha Spillett Sumner, who is Cree and Trinidadian, wanted to explain the indigenous belief that babies choose their parents and to honor the mindful preparations that all mothers and fathers go through. I'd also like to add that illustrator Michaela Good's pairings are just as wonderful as her previous book, 2020's We Are the Water Protectors, which won her a Caldecott Award. This is a collaboration that I hope will happen again. The storytelling and the artwork are just exquisite. The interplay of the poetic text and the gentle repetitions, combined with Good's beautiful lines, amazing drawings, and incredibly personal illustrations, are just breathtaking. Readers looking for a heartwarming, inviting parent-child story, or those looking for a gift to give a new family can't go wrong with this incredibly beautiful picture book. And also, please make sure to take the time to read the notes from both the author and the illustrator in the back pages. Both women write about their processes, their history, and their inspirations that brought this book to life.
My next book is called How to Wear a Saree, written by Darshana Khiani and illustrated by Joanne Liu Rithoff. This book has been published by Houghton Mifflin Harcourt Publishing Company. Every little girl will relate to this book, whether she wore a sari or not. Every mom, whether from India or not, will also relate to this book. Have you ever gone through your mom's closet secretly and tried her fancy clothes or shoes or makeup or jewelry? The story's main character wants to prove she is big enough, old enough, and capable enough, so she decided to wear a sari. She does struggle a bit with pleats and tucks while donning the 6 yards of silky, shiny fabric. She even dreams of becoming a consultant, getting contracts for giving expert tips in sari draping. The colorful pictures bring out the humor and life in the story. Well, did everything go as planned? Read the book to know how things turned out. Personally, this book took me down the memory lane. All the memories of me and my sister trying on my mom's saris got refreshed.
Bodies Are Cool, written and illustrated by Tyler Fetter. This body, that body, his and her and their body, however you define body, bodies are cool. This debut from Fetter is a fun rhyming book with playful illustrations that will make you feel a bit like you're people watching, and is full of body positive messages. People of all shapes, ages, sizes, ethnicities, and differently abled people will find themselves represented in this book. If you're looking for a book that will help children understand that all bodies can look different, but all are as equally good, this is a great book to explore that concept, and a perfect book for them to ask questions. Also, a great reminder for people of all ages that bodies are all different, but should all be celebrated.
What's my favorite thing about the same but different too? Everything! It's a celebration of similarities and differences with vivid, colorful images and rhyming verse by British author Carl Newson. Animals and children come together in this wonderland of childhood, showing the joys of being a kid. Goofy, unpredictable, and unlikely illustrations by artist Kate Hinley make me laugh out loud. Magical surroundings do not faze the kids in this book at all. To them, it's normal to stand at a bus stop with a tiger in a red raincoat, or listen from your treehouse to a fox singing and playing the banjo. Totally normal. Published in the US in 2020 by Nosy Crow, this book not only depicts the idea of sharing and noticing differences, but also gently introduces the idea of opposites. Perhaps your preschooler will tell you how they are different, but the same.
The Shape of Home by Rasheen Carrier is about a little girl's first day of school in America. It's full of comparisons between her new home and the one she left in Iran. She notices shapes everywhere throughout her day. Smiley pancakes, a kitty umbrella, bread braided like her hair, and heart-shaped blossoms. A bright, happy classroom with books that open backwards compared to the ones in her native Farsi, and funny-shaped letters too. Mrs. Martin is a welcoming teacher who has the children introduce themselves and say where they're from. She starts by saying her country, Benin, has the shape of a flashlight. Akio is from Japan, which reminds him of a seahorse. Rasheen says Iran is shaped like a Persian cat. She poses and meows while her classmates laugh. By the end of the day, Rasheen feels the classroom is shaped like a home. This is an uplifting story of a warm welcome to a new country. I love the diversity, creativity, and the early math skills tied to the shapes. The author dedicates her book to every child with a wild imagination.
Three Ways to Be Brave is told in gentle, soothing poetry, rhyming text, and it's a collection of 3 different stories that presents relatable moments in every child's life. The first story has to do with a child who's awakened in the night by a thunderstorm, who finds strength in soothing a younger sibling. The second story is about the first day of school and how scary that can be, even with a parent next to you. And the third story is a doctor's visit, which again is something that is scary but necessary. And the gentleness is kind of the theme that runs throughout it. The tone never falters. It teaches kids great ways to be strong, to be resilient, to face those fears, because on the other side, it isn't always a bad place to be. I highly recommend this book for anybody ages 4 and up. You'll find it in ALD's rhyme songs and tales section.
Oscar Tower of Flowers is a beautiful, wordless picture book written and illustrated by Lauren Tobia and published by Candlewick Press. The illustrations are simply fabulous, and it feels like no words could have told the story like these pictures have. Oscar's mother has left him with a relative as she has to go on a trip. While the relative is very nice and has been trying her best to keep Oscar occupied with fun activities and has been taking good care of him, he comes across a picture of him and his mom and tears well up in his eyes. Oscar loves plants and gardening, and he and his caretaker leave for the store. They buy everything they need for growing plants in a pot. He grows a huge garden in his apartment and takes care of them every day till they sprout, and one day his home becomes no less than a botanical park. He then shares the plants with everyone in his building. This is my favorite part of the book. He also makes a new friend while doing so, and then happy ending, his mom comes back from her trip. The book teaches us about the difference a child can make. Also tells us about how empowering it is when an adult understands the child and helps him pursue his or her interest. It also talks about how sharing and giving makes a community thrive.
T-Rexes Can't Tie Their Shoes by Anna Lozowiski and illustrated by Stephanie Labris. Did you know dogs can't wash dishes or that penguins can't play ping pong? This debut book from Lozowiski is a hilarious trip through the alphabet, highlighting both upper and lowercase letters, showing animals trying to do all sorts of tasks that kids can sometimes find frustrating when they are first learning how to do these tasks themselves. Kids will also be able to point out things that they can do that our animal friends cannot. The fun doesn't stop at the end of the alphabet either, since at the end of the book, the end of the book includes factual information on what the A to Z animals can in fact do. A perfect book for preschoolers that will hopefully have them giggling on each page.
Are we ever really completely satisfied with our lives? What about goldfish? Do they have feelings of discontent too? Reading this sweet story about Gil the Goldfish made me think about my own circumstances when I was a kid. I always had to share a bedroom. Humor and gorgeous illustrations by lifelong artist Lena Podesta will delight your preschoolers. Gil lives in a fishbowl with a plant, a castle, and 138 pebbles to clean every day. But it is too crowded. What? You have a castle and it's still too crowded? In a shocking moment, Gil puts on his Velcro sneakers and leaves home looking for a better place to live. This is shocking because I didn't know fish wore shoes. But as he ventures out, Gil and readers discover how others live. Not to give the whole story away, but Gil finds out, and your kids might agree, there's no place quite like home. Published by Source Books, Jabberwocky.
The Girl with Big, Big Questions by Brittany Winley. It's really good for ages 5 to 8. From the moment she opened her eyes for the day to the time she was tucked into bed, she'd ask and ask and ask and ask every question that popped in her head. The girl with big, big questions is very curious. She wonders what happens to stars when they fall, and why do we even have bedtime? She questions if monsters are real, and what does the dog do all day while she's at school? This little girl is constantly thinking. All of her big questions eventually cause the girl's classmates to shut her down. Undeterred, she heads to the library to research a problem she encounters. Fortunately, she is able to use her newfound knowledge for something beneficial. With technology, we're able to answer a lot of inquiries. This story encourages children to think on their own and continually ask questions about anything they run into. It also emphasizes the need to attune to others' feelings. All of this encourages personal growth. How does the girl react to other people? Does she notice when they're uncomfortable or abrupt? How does she handle it? And what does she learn? I love this book for its illustrations, rhyming sentences, and inquisitive main character. The author and illustrator also wrote The Boy with Big, Big Feelings, so you might want to check that one out too.
Child, you are awake. You are alive. You are a bright star inside our hearts. With a combination of powerful language, complex imagery, and other touches that are specific to her work, author Gigi Morales weaves the tale of a fawn making her way through a land that is dangerous, beautiful, and full of potential. A gentle voice urges her onward to face her fears and challenge obstacles that seek to hold her back. In a world full of uncertainty, Bright Star offers reassurance and courage. I've talked before about the amazing art that Gigi Morales creates, and this book is no different. Bright Star explores the borderlands, the plants and the animals and the insects that make their home along the U.S.-Mexican border, and also talks about the people who live and travel through this beautiful part of the world. The book is created with a combination of techniques that include hand-embroidered lettering, drawing, digital paintings, and different textures from photographs that Gigi Morales took in the desert. It also has Spanish words peppered throughout, but you'll be able to contextually figure out what the author is saying. This book is just full of beauty. There's blankets, there's native costumes, the animals are brought to life in just this incredibly creative way. I do hope you check this one out because it's just a wonderful, inspiring work of art. Thanks.
We cannot talk about 2020 and 2021 without talking about masks. We Wear Masks, written and illustrated by Marla Lesage and published by Orca Book Publishers, is a book about our world now. Marla Lesage is a registered nurse. This book has a very interesting approach to talking about masks. It normalizes masks by introducing young readers to artists, ranchers, pilots, welders, scientists, and many more people who already wear masks in their day-to-day lives. This delightful rhyming picture book will help explain to children why wearing a mask is important as we interact with others in our communities today. Readers will learn that when they put their mask on, they are choosing to be kind and considerate of others. Told in a rhyming manner, this book is a great way to start a conversation with your little one about the pandemic, germs, viruses, vaccination, masks, and so on. My favorite line from the book is, "When I wear a mask and you wear one too, we are both really saying, I care about you." Wearing a mask is about caring for others.
We All Play, written and illustrated by Julie Foote. Julie Foote has been one of my favorite picture book illustrators for a while, but now she is also turning into one of my favorite picture book authors. Animals and kids love to play. Hopping, wiggling, swimming. This sweet book shows comparisons between animals and children playing in nature and is also a fun reminder that animals and humans share this world. This celebration of nature uses both English and Cree words, and the glossary in the back shows the animal names in both languages. With its simple text and beautiful artwork, this book is sure to become a toddler and preschool favorite. Also, if you get a chance to peek under the dust jacket, you'll be in for a fun surprise.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for our December picture book party. That's all of our titles for today. Thank you to our panelists for the tough job of choosing just 5 books from the last couple of years. If you'd like to find out more of our favorites from the past book parties, just head to Arapahoe Library's YouTube live channel and look for the other recordings. As I mentioned, we will be posting the link to a book list of all of these titles on our website in the comment section. And just a reminder to sign up for story times and other programs, both in person and virtual. Visit the events tab at arapahoelibraries.org. You can also find more book lists, links to storytime videos, activity ideas, and lots of other resources at our 0 to 5 page under Browse the Library. You can also sign up for our newsletter for regular updates for new programs, services, and other things that are going on at the library. We're all done for today. Thanks for watching. Our next virtual picture book party will be in March 2022. Thank you.